Ethan Nwaneri is the new prince of Arsenal.
Ethan comes in and scores a goal.
A generational talent who at just 15 years old was already getting compared to the likes of Jack Wilshere and Cesc Fabregas, two legendary midfielders who rose through the ranks of Haaland, the club's famous academy. Just like those two, Nwaneri was exceptional on the ball and showed a level of maturity that went beyond his age. His remarkable talent and composure are what allowed him to get his first goal in the Premier League for Arsenal.
And there is a first Premier League goal,
giving fans the belief that he could continue Arsenal's proud tradition of developing elite midfielders. However, with great expectations always come uncertainties. For every Fabregas and Wilshere who ascended to greatness, there are players like James Vaughan, young prodigies who fade into obscurity despite showing early promise. Even Wilshere himself was riddled with injuries. So fans can't help but wonder, does Nwaneri have what it takes to remain at the top level, or will he fall victim to the same challenges that have ruined so many talented young players? Arsenal fans have been begging Arteta to play Nwaneri more, and there's a good reason for it. When Ødegaard was injured, the team lacked creativity. It's where the Arteta Taliban jokes began. The Spaniard had transitioned from beautiful passing to this Tony Pulis Stoke City-esque performances. Arteta went from being known as the next Pep to the next Mourinho.
If you take Mikel Arteta, and Pep Guardiola was a big disciple of Pep Guardiola, but actually he's moving more towards Jose Mourinho.
Yet the whole time, Arsenal had a left-footed magician on the bench. You see, for years now, everyone around Arsenal has known how special Ethan Nwaneri is. When he made his Premier League debut at just 15 years and 181 days old against Brentford, it wasn't just to set a record.
You'd feel like, yeah, you're on top of the world, but no, credit to him. Brilliant. To be coming on at 15 years of age is a great achievement.
Yes, he became the youngest player to debut in the league's history, but he had gotten that opportunity because of the talents that he had shown in the years prior. Nwaneri's journey began when he joined Arsenal's academy at the age of 8. By 14, he was already featuring for the under-18 side, showcasing his ability to compete above his age group. You guys understand how big of a gap 4 years is when you're that age? His goal against Reading on his under-18 debut, though, showed that age was just a number, as he scored a banger. A goal that would have been fantastic no matter the age, but Nwaneri was doing it at 14. In the next season, he showed that his performance was no fluke, as he picked up 2 assists against Reading again, showcasing at an early age his ability to both score and create for others. He continued his good form in the 2022 season by picking up goals against Southampton and Norwich. Jack Wilshere, who himself had debuted for Arsenal at 16 years and 256 days old, was impressed with Nwaneri's abilities. As the head coach of Arsenal's under-18 team, Wilshere praised Nwaneri's performances, noting his outstanding talent and potential. What's better than getting praise from one of Arsenal's most talented central midfielders? Another former Arsenal midfielder, Granit Xhaka, spoke very highly of the young Englishman as well. Xhaka was training the under-16s to get his coaching licenses back in 2022, and even he said that Nwaneri was a special player. Nwaneri started the 2023 season still playing for the under-18s, but his rapid progression couldn't be ignored, and he was quickly advanced to the club's under-21s. In his under-21 debut against Blackburn Rovers, he reminded everyone just how good he was as he got an assist in a 4-1 win. He was playing against kids 6 years older than him, and not only did he not look out of place, but he was shining. But in September of 2023, the under-21s lineup was listed, but Nwaneri's name was not there. At the same time, he also wasn't registered for the under-18s. So what was going on? Well, his name was nowhere to be found because the young English attacking midfielder was called up for first team training instead. Just weeks later, he was named to the Arsenal bench for their Premier League game against Brentford. Nobody expected him to come in at any point, but then in injury time, he was brought on to replace Fabio Vieira, Arsenal's youngest ever player, aged 15 years and 181 days old. He had broken the record for the youngest player to appear in a game in England's entire top flight, not just the Premier League.
Ethan Nwaneri came on with a minute to go for Arsenal. Gab, they're getting younger and younger. He was 15 and 181 days.
Arteta stated that he had a gut feeling. He had liked what he's seen from Nwaneri, and that's why he gave him the opportunity.
It was a pure gut feeling.
It makes sense. There is a lot to like about Nwaneri's game. A technically gifted attacking midfielder, someone who glides by defenders and can thread the needle with his passes. At the time that Nwaneri was called up, Ødegaard was injured. It seemed inevitable that Nwaneri would continue getting opportunities as a solution to the team's creativity when Ødegaard wasn't available. Not only do they both share similar skill sets, magical left foot, ability to operate in tight spaces, great creators, but their journeys were similar too. with both making their professional debut at 15 years of age. Both are also very humble and grounded despite being hyped up so early in their careers. According to The Telegraph, Nwaneri was among the more shy and reserved players in the Arsenal locker room. Nwaneri wouldn't appear for the first team again until the 2024 season, where he came on as a sub in the 77th minute against West Ham. Arteta mentioned that the players on the bench were whispering to him to bring Ethan on, which is a great thing to hear. He also featured on the bench for 3 Champions League games, but he never saw the pitch. In the 2024-2025 season, he's gotten more opportunities. He featured in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup, scoring a brace against Bolton.
It's Ethan Nwaneri who scores his first goal on his first start.
And then scored again against Preston in the next round.
Oh, that is a stunning goal. Arsenal's 17-year-old superstar.
It was a reminder of what he can do, why he deserves to play more. He was clearly ready. Then when Ødegaard picked up an injury and missed a lot of time, it seemed that it was naturally the best opportunity to use Nwaneri. The team genuinely has no other profile close to what Ødegaard does besides Nwaneri. When the Norwegian isn't present, Arsenal find themselves playing without any creativity, often relying either on a Saka moment of brilliance or set pieces. It's actually crazy how much the quality of Arsenal's play drops off when Ødegaard isn't there. Saka ends up getting doubled and he has no help on that right hand side. Somebody to create chances for Saka, somebody to help him get out of those situations where he's getting double teamed. Nwaneri can easily do that. He has shown on multiple occasions that he can be the player that operates in those little pockets, the guy to create opportunities. But Arteta believes that he's obligated to look at the whole picture and manage Nwaneri's evolution in the best way possible. I am responsible for building a career for him, Arteta says. You have to do that brick by brick. We have to manage not only his expectations, but his load as well. Pause, Arteta. I definitely understand Arteta's point though. The way to develop prodigies differs from player to player. Phil Foden, for example, you could argue, was held back for way too long by Pep. Meanwhile, Barca might have put too much pressure on Yamal. But fans, well, they're impatient, and to be honest, they have every reason to be so. When Nwaneri came on against Forest, he played with the kind of intelligence and positivity that suggests he's developed enough to justify getting more opportunities. He's probably at his best in that number 10/number 8 role that Ødegaard occupies, but realistically he can play anywhere in the attack. He has shown at the youth level that he's comfortable both in wide and central roles. For the England under-19s, he has been killing it, picking up 4 goals and 1 assist in 6 matches. He had scored against Italy, Germany, Portugal, and France. This guy is a potential future Copa Trophy winner. He has the ability to create magic, to create something out of nothing when Arsenal needed the most. He also has the character to match his talent. His celebration for his goal was nonchalant, nothing over the top. He made scoring in the Premier League look like it was a normal turn of events for him. In fact, the funny thing is Arteta knows exactly how good he is because they sent Fabio Vieira, their £30 million signing from Porto that was supposed to be the understudy for Ødegaard, on loan back to Portugal because of the fact that they knew they had Nwaneri in the pecking order. It seems that Arteta is just being cautiously optimistic. Maybe he's worried that Nwaneri still needs to improve his positional understanding and his work rate off the ball. When you look at someone like Ødegaard, he isn't just the most technical player on the pitch, but one of the hardest workers. He can make moments of magic, but isn't afraid of doing the dirty work. To play in Arsenal's midfield, you have to run a ton off the ball, and maybe Arteta feels that the teenager isn't ready to do that across large chunks of minutes. But it's clear to everyone, both in and out of the organization, that Nwaneri has all the ingredients required to be a star. He looks ready to follow in the footsteps of both Saka, as the poster boy of the academy, and also Ødegaard, as the child prodigy with ambitions of reaching the very top of the game. Nobody understands Nwaneri's journey more than Ødegaard. To see how the Norwegian went from being labeled a child prodigy to a flop to now being Arsenal's captain, you have to check out this video right here.